We are recording. Welcome, everybody, to the Community Engagement Committee meeting Wednesday, September 20th, 6:00 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, Summer Darrell. Here. Cynthia Godinez, is that pronounced? Godinez. 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 Thank you. I know how to say my last name. Jennifer Kosaka. Here. Mark Saba. Here. And tonight I would like to excuse Aaron Asmuth and Bill Norman.
I make a motion that we excuse Aaron and Bill from tonight's meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Who seconded?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. So tonight I'd like to do an agenda revision. And that's under discussions and business. Letter B. I would like to move that to October agenda discussion on framework and process for projects that need CEC support. Any other revisions?
Are you doing that, Robin, just because we've got such a big load tonight?
Aaron was gonna do the draft document,
Okay.
yeah, and so,
Okay. Yep.
and he asked, so I would like to move that.
I think, Mark, they need to formally vote on that, correct?
I think we have to make a motion.
Formally, we do.
Yeah, you're editing the agenda, so you're just motioning, seconding, and adopting that amendment.
Okay, I make a motion, or I need to make a.
I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion that we, take item 6B off of tonight's agenda and move it to October's meeting.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Who seconded?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition, motion carries. Then, number 3. Approval of the minutes for August 16th, 2023.
Make a motion that we approve last month's, minutes as written.
Okay, any seconds? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. City Hall updates. Going on over there. Public comments, anything in the audience or online?
Nobody online.
Okay,
Someday people find us.
yeah, some days. Number 5, City Hall update. We'll put our handout. Any questions, comments?
Actually, I will add on the City Academy item 2. I did produce some posters yesterday. I just had the idea yesterday, why we got photos, why didn't we do posters? So if anybody wants to pick up any, we've got some up front. If you want more to place at your place of business or organization, let me know. And Mark McAvoy, I don't know if you know this yet, but we have 1 registrant already.
All right. And, when did that come in today?
Sometime today.
Okay, awesome. We're off and running.
Excellent.
I just had a question. Regarding the posters, this might not be allowed, and maybe we don't know this, but can I take a poster and put it on our mailbox? Like, because you have the big block mailbox, I've seen like.
I've seen like, missing animals.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Good.
I would go ahead and do it, and if the post office wants, ask for forgiveness.
Just on the side,
Yeah.
you know, everybody knows it's there.
I don't know enough about postal rules to answer.
Or better yet, I'd go down and ask the post office
First.
before you do it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah, and yes.
Okay.
I know on utility poles, I work for utility company. Boy, that was a no-no, did not post anything on our utility pole.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if you do, don't stay with it.
Or leave your address.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to make one comment on the city hall thing. And it's just a comment, it's not a question or anything. But under public events, the Hooptown USA Court is done. But if you haven't noticed, the skate park is also done.
Oh,
And I just noticed that. And yeah, well, the only reason why I'm here is because,
you were skating.
nope, the gentleman that did it, is, his in-laws live across the street from me. It's, Josh, Thomas. You probably have heard of his brother. His brother is the, gentleman, is Brandon Thomas, played football for CV with a prosthetic leg. Kid that had the cancer, yep.
Amazing.
And, but I drove by there the other day, or today, and, it looks pretty awesome. Might wanna check it out. It's in the, graffiti motif, if you will, but it's pretty classy. So now we got the court, basketball court, and then right next to it, we got the skate park. So it looks pretty cool.
That's great. Love
And
it.
then one other thing, the opening of the Kramer Parkway, that was fun, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a good time. Mark and I were the first golf cart to go over the Kramer Parkway, so we were, yep. And
Like trivia to me.
it will be trivia down the road. But, no, it was a very, very well put together event. I mean, they had dignitaries there, and even the senator was there for
Oh, wow.
our district here, Senator Patton. And, but it was really, really, really a nice event, and opened it up, and I see cars on it all the time now, so it's pretty cool.
I just wanna say, I took the flags over the bridge, and my daughter was the first one, and maybe the only one ever to go in her Hot Wheels.
Yes, yeah, that was cute.
And by flag, I mean the Liberty Lake flag.
Have you seen the video footage?
No, I saw a picture.
There's drone footage on the Facebook site of the City Hall. There is footage of you, I think, guiding the kitty car.
Yeah,
It was a little nerve wracking. Maybe this was a mistake. I don't know.
But that was cute. So this weekend, we closed, or not closed, we relocated and put a sign up on the farmer's market that said, come see us at Cars and Cruisers. So Mayor Chris and I went over there and just sort of roamed around, look at cars, talk to people over there. And that was really fun event. I liked
pretty
that.
cool, isn't
It is great.
it? Yeah.
So,
That may have been a good promotional thing, just having your sign there, directing people to the other one.
yeah, yeah.
It probably did. It probably did draw a lot of people to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So,
So, and there were many, quite a crowd.
Chris didn't enter her Jaguar?
She did,
She did. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Good.
We took a little card, and they wanted everybody, to vote for this or vote for the one that would be most likely stopped by a patrolman and different things, and so we were,
Did they have the mayor's choice?
The
yes.
Jaguar one.
Yeah, the Jaguar one. So that was a really popular event. We're glad it was a nice day for it.
And it goes to a good cause.
It goes to a great cause.
That show actually had substantially more cars than the Barefoot in the Parkland.
It always does.
They had about 180 cars. And following up on something else on here. We started up a survey of just visitors' response to that event, and right now about a third of the car show participants have filled it out. And right now they are the majority of the respondents versus people who are exhibitors or people who are just there touring like you people were.
Cool. The big fun was had by all. Enjoyable day. So I had a comment on the Zen City engagements when I read that, and I'm a little disappointed that we are just under only 24 of comments. Because I know at the farmer's market, I've passed out several and I've passed out, I remember at the Friends of the Library, there was more than 2,000 members there at the Friends of the Library. So we have till October the 16th, and I wonder if there's any ideas that we can pick up that we're talking tonight that can help increase that engagement. 2,000 is just not a good number. Any comments?
That one started off well, and then, as I indicated, there's been about 4 comments since September started.
That's disappointing. So,
There's not lack of letting people know about it. I know that, you see it out there quite a bit on, social media and that. I just think people aren't interested. I think it's just something that people aren't really interested in because they don't know about it. They don't know what to ask for. Honestly, you look at how many people attend the city council meetings. I wouldn't know much about, I don't hardly know much about it, and I attend the meetings. So, and I think that's it. I think this is just one thing that, we're learning that possibly next year we may not want to bother doing this next year if we're gonna get this kind of response.
okay.
Just a thought.
Mhm.
There was a public hearing scheduled for the city council meeting on this last night, and
No one
nobody commented.
Yep.
Okay, so it just might be a general, this particular topic, the public's not as interested as what they were on the strategic plan survey.
That's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah.
There's 22 interested people according to our message board.
Absolutely. So, don't, it shouldn't be I don't think we should take it as a disappointment or a negative towards our convention, because we're still going through a learning curve here. And I think, we ought to just say, it's a we learned something. Okay, this is something that we may not want to put on next year. And then move on from there and make the next one even better. Go from there.
One of my ideas too, or one of my thoughts were, we've just gotten through with the initiative of the strategic plan survey. And maybe people were just tired of taking surveys too. Maybe they just thought, oh, another survey.
It's only one survey they took, though.
It's
was
also
long.
sort of, it took me longer than 5 minutes.
Oh, me too. It took me about 15. I know what
So
you're
I
saying.
might not have been eager to do that again.
And it
So
seems-
quickly.
It seems similar too. It does seem similar. If you're just looking at it from the outside and like, what am I taking a survey on? It's not,
Yeah,
kind of same wheelhouse. You're like, oh, budget. I think I kind of did that already. It's like what we're doing.
strategic planning is kind of like the budget anyway, yeah.
Mhm.
I think where you say the topic may sound similar,
Mhm.
the engagements are 2 very different ones.
Yeah, of course.
But for a general public,
Yeah,
they may think strategic plan, budget, is that the same thing?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of my sense a little bit. How do we feel about some sort of video? Just a little spokesperson moment.
Sorry.
The mayor. Sorry, Mayor Chris.
That depends, what's your schedule saying?
I don't know, what time can I text Chris to see when she can do this? But I think maybe even just like a little 1-minute ask with something other than just printed words might do something in our last little stretch.
Well, I'm still wondering too, if, we have the Kiwanis, we have the Rotary, and maybe we get on there at one of the meetings and, have the time slot, but they would put us on the agenda and we talk about this and we give a handout. Does anybody think that that would be worthwhile?
I do know Mark McAvoy was at Rotary, was it?
Rotary yesterday, and I handed each person there one of the QR codes.
Oh, good. Okay.
And they all, they all seem to indicate that was the first time they had heard about this, right? So I think part of it is the breadth, how to get the message to branch out once it goes out initially, right? How to get people to pick it up and take it to the next person.
Yeah,
That's part of the challenge.
if cause one time when I was at the farmer's market and I went over to the Rotary, cause their station is right next to ours, and I gave them quite a few of those handouts and said, can you do this? And I explained it, can't remember her name. And she said, oh yes, I can hand those out, so maybe that they forgot or something of that nature, so I'm glad that you did that. What about the Kiwanis? Did any go to the Kiwanis and hand out some of those, our handouts for this? One? No.
I don't know when the next one is meeting, is. I can find out, I guess. Yeah, I can do that, yeah, whatever.
Okay, so David can give you some handouts. And so,
We got some, in the entryway too.
Just when I text Tim, I'll find out when the next meeting is.
okay.
Tim Wilson.
And I'll be at the Friends of the Library meeting, it'll be last Thursday, and I will remind them, I did give them handouts, explain, but I will remind them to please, this is important, if you want your voice heard, to please answer this survey.
And Bob Scadam brought those to the library board of trustees meeting and referenced the conversation that you had with the Friends of the Library. So in that way, it's kind of percolating.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you have to have people that are willing to, at the line in the grocery store, say something, right? And that's part of the challenge. So
That is part of the challenge. Okay. Okay, moving on. Group discussion on the August 15th workshop with City Council. So I just produced some of my notes, but I'm sure that there are other people who had some notes that can comment or add, or maybe we can even revise. Maybe I didn't clearly understand. And what would be your takeaways? I can tell you a couple of mine that I felt were important, and that was that there was a couple of them from the council members that said we need to reach every demographic. And more, we said, with our youth and population without devices. Anything that, I know this is a month ago, that you had any takeaways on, or did you have anything from your notes that you could add to this?
Do you remember some moments of aha that popped into your head? Like, oh, we can do that? Or, oh, they want us to do this?
Yeah, my aha was the networking. That made me really, which I think we were kind of talking about that in this meeting, that just kind of like who can work with this group and who can work with that group. And if we take a proactive approach in seeing who of this group can reach out to other like-kind areas, like other commissions, that seemed to be kind of important. And then also the paper trail, the history of what we're doing to be able to show this is our history of what we've been doing. Those are two things that stuck with me.
And that's what the mayor pro tem had said, yeah, that's what I would like to know about an internal tracking document history. Okay, yeah. Anything else, Summer or Mark?
I mean, there were two sides that I was seeing. It was, you guys should do anything. You should come up with all the things. And then it's, here's the things we want you to do, right? So some people were saying both of those things within, one breath in themselves. And other people, had one thought or the other. So, for me, it was just helpful to actually sit down with them and see what they said. So just for number one, besides the actual takeaway of the information, it was just nice to see the personalities and what their thoughts were and just kind of be able to put that into all this. I think a lot of the stuff is stuff that we've already built or we're doing already, like just our city hall updates if you were just to put all those in a folder, that would be what we've been doing pretty much. There's a lot of that stuff, I think that's already existing, and we're building good stuff, so I think it's just about communication with them, and, figuring out ways that when they do want us to do, specific things, like there were some specific asks that we put them on our list of to-dos, and we work through those things. I think what Aaron's gonna talk about next month will probably help us with this a little bit, right? So I don't wanna go too far into it and then have to redo that. I don't know, that was kind of my general, vibe. I think they are kind of like how we were when we started. They didn't know either, right? And so I think if we were able to do this semi-annually, like we talked about, I think that would be very helpful. And just keep in mind that whatever we're doing here at some point would be good to present to them and back and forth a little bit. I mean, that's kind of just where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't think they know what we're doing. Is what I got, because I got the feeling that, I think if there's something that we want to go out and pursue, go out and do it. And, it's our commission, we should run it. Not to say to be rebels and, outside of the box or anything, but my thinking is that from what I got out of the discussion, my perspective was that, and I heard it from more than one of the council members, is, do your job. You're the commission, you created this, you guys, what you guys have done so far, we're all behind it. Go out and do your job. And that's kind of the way that's what I feel. Getting together twice a year, I think is going to be very beneficial. We can give them updates once a month or whenever we give them, city council updates, but to have an actual workshop to where we can actually tell them what we're doing and let them, tell us what they want from us. If there's something that come up or something like that, I think that's very beneficial. So that's kind of what I got out of it. And outside of the other thing was that, the demographic thing, touch basing with everybody. And the only thing that came up real loud and clear, and it came from Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member Kurtz, was mailers. And we put that in the budget for this year. So, by the way, Mark, is everything in for our budget? For the budget, is our number in there for that we proposed, or did it get cut back, or?
So, and correct any of this that I may be misspeaking about. My understanding, based on the conversation we had, is everything that you all came up with has been loaded into the budget as of now.
Okay.
Right, and there's a process that occurs between now and October 17th, when the mayor presents the budget to council, where everything is going to be reviewed and we're trying to balance it, right? So, but initially, yes, everything that you all proposed went into the submission.
Awesome. Okay.
Nothing would have been removed at this point, correct?
No. Right, yeah, I'm trying to remember some specifics. The only one that's coming to my mind is the placeholder, for the mailers on a quarterly basis, but there were some others in there.
Yeah, it was.
But the whole list, went into the submitted budget.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark.
Is there any time, Mark, that we would need to, like, some people will have to maybe justify some of the team members or something? Is that just, it goes in, no questions, or how does, I'm still fuzzy on that a little bit.
So there could be a couple of, there are traditionally a couple of answers to that question. One is, as the mayor and I look at the proposed budget at this point and compare it to the proposed revenues, we have to make sure that we're in balance, right? So that's the first step. And then, depending on what that looks like, then we start talking about mostly preferences. And then once that occurs, once all of that review happens and the proposal is sent to council, then council goes through that same process. And they historically have gone line item by line item in a very exhaustive review and had conversations about changes. So in this case, they are going to see, in terms of percentage, a gigantic change, right? So I would expect for during that conversation, somebody to go, make this motion. What is the, whatever it is, what is the 2,000% increase in, what is it, executive supplies or whatever the line item is? And then we're gonna have to have that conversation during the council meeting. But that's essentially how today forward works. Yeah, and that happens with everything, right? Not just with what you.
No, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That it's pretty ubiquitous.
From what I saw, Robin, is that, we've done our legwork, we've done our presentation, now it's up to them. And if they're, my feeling is, correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, David, my feeling is that if no news is good news, my thinking is that we don't hear anything back, it's gonna go through. If there is any issues, the city council or someone will probably come back and ask us the question, or, say, well, we're gonna back off on this or whatever. That's just kind of what I'm thinking, because that's how it's been in the past.
Okay,
It really comes down, in my mind, it really comes down to the revenue side of the equation, because if we have enough revenue, to comfortably cover all of the proposed budget, unless somebody just doesn't want to do something for whatever reason, there's really no reason not to fund those proposals if there's revenue to support them. And so that's going to be the key. Now, a couple of caveats is we have an unknown when it comes to whatever this measure one vote is going to do on November 7th for the county proposed 0.2% sales tax. And we don't know what council is going to do with, we just created the transportation benefit district last night. That was the second read of that ordinance. So that district is in place. And now the council has to determine whether or not they're going to enact the sales tax component of that. And then beyond that, determine what they're going to do with the utility tax. And so all of those things affect revenue. Now, there are smaller revenue sources than other things, but they all affect revenue. So at the end of the day, if we've got the revenue to cover the proposed budget, I don't see anything being flashed unless somebody just has a bias against whatever it is and they want to see it reduced for some reason. But we can effectively argue our way out of that one.
good, okay. Thanks for explaining this. Okay, next is the fall engagement on city's unfunded list items.
This dovetails right into what we're talking about. It would have also dovetailed well into Aaron's item, but since city administrator's here, Mark, I may just let you cover most of this, but you have a sheet here of what's called the unfunded items list. These are, as I understand it, kind of a list of long-term wish list items that are not specifically tied to a budget calendar year yet. But we are looking for your assistance and how do we get the word out on what is the public interested in with these? How would the public prioritize these? Which ones have the most interest? Which ones would you rank from 1 to, I think we're up to like 13 or 14 items there now. I will add that last night at the city council meeting, the community pool item was moved to kind of on a placeholder / temporary basis to be put onto 2027 for a site plan project. That could change. But they at least wanted to tie a year to it, at least for now. It's still, as I understand it, Mark, still on the unfunded list though, or not?
Well, so technically that item would be moved from the unfunded list to the funded list. But as David described, they placed it in 2027. And what they placed in there was a siting survey essentially in a master plan. And so, I still think there's benefit in leaving it on the unfunded list just to see how people rank it. Because that would either help support that decision or may give cause to someone saying, no, I don't think it's gonna fall very far on this, but you never know. That's why you asked the question. But it technically has been moved off of the unfunded list.
I see this as a possibly being one, maybe two survey questions on Zen City, which could very easily be translatable to dots at farmer's market. We could list all, whatever it is, 14 items there. Just have people put dots next to either their number one favorite or every one of them that they would like to see happen to Liberty Lake in the next couple of years. That would be very easily translatable into putting that data into Zen City once we do that. And I think we also have till mid-October to do that as well.
You probably have a little bit more time than that. The final decision on the CFP isn't going to be, until later in the year. So we may have another week or two beyond that, but this is a fairly short fuse on something like this. But I think if, like David said, it's one question, possibly two, that's easy to get people to commit to.
So could we do it like David said, and just say rank, explain the situation, then rank from 1 to 14?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it because it forces people to actually make a choice. And at the end of the day, you've got data that you can immediately analyze and visualize. There's no, you're not interpreting anything. You're just taking the data.
Right, so when can we get this set up in Zen City? Tomorrow? Perfect.
And I think if we can separate the enhance and the new,
Right.
rank those
Right.
separately, because some of these could be a lot easier to deal with and cheaper, et cetera.
I think so
And
too.
I think the more we could get done, that would benefit the community, obviously, and make people happy, but I think it'd be a boon for us as well, the more things we can really help out on. And the enhance to me is a place to do that.
Well, honestly, I think this is a good starting point right here to let us know what we need to focus on with city council.
And we're gonna have to look at that summer because, I don't disagree with that sentiment. The concern I have is in some of these are new things. They're just in existing places.
Sure.
So we're gonna have to figure out if that's the right word to describe them, but that's a minor issue.
Sure.
I wanted to mention something about the places, if that's okay. If I were taking a survey and I live in the, near Orchard Park, and I was going to rank these, I certainly would put probably the ones that pertain to Orchard Park, my first and second. So maybe in the survey and the design part of it, you could separate out like where you live or like your general location, because that might.
Well, and a lot of these have multiple locations, so the community gardens isn't just Orchard Park, the circuit course isn't just Orchard Park. Splash pad isn't just Rocky Hill,
I suggest we leave off the locations and just put the descriptions.
unless that's what it is, unless it's just specifically it's on this list because it's the Rocky Hill splash pad that is in
Right,
question,
That's
so.
what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, but
And we
I'm
could
saying,
just-
so if that's the case,
So like in your survey, if I was gonna take it, the first question would be like, where do you live? Or what general area do you live? And then your questionnaire that you're gonna get is gonna be different than the person who lives over there. So you have some different results based on location. But
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because if I live in Rocky Hill Park, I'm gonna say, oh, yeah, I want a splash pad, and us over in that Orchard Park, we're gonna say,
here, I have one.
yeah.
It just some thought about how to design it.
I think that's a valid consideration. And this is something where my current concept, emphasize not my final concept, but my current concept is I would like to see offer a very brief description about what each one of these things are, just to get everybody oriented on what are they going for. This is something that can also be very easily translatable into a paper survey if you wanted to go to a group or go to a
That's
community.
what I think when you.
Pass them out into people's doors if you wanted to.
But can we put it in the splash or anything? Is it gonna be, is it timing?
I think that'll work.
Okay, so let's do density and then let's do it in the splash. I don't care if you want to do it in insert or however you want to do that. And then the library, would you need to make many copies for the library because they have the kids or and the parents that all are coming there too.
Okay, that resorts back to a question. I just found out that the Kiwanis meeting is next Wednesday.
Okay,
Okay, there would be a perfect opportunity. Okay, what do we want to do? What's more important, this or the budget? I'm asking the question. Honestly, I think this is more important than the budget.
I think it's more likely to get a response. than
I
what-
think
Yeah,
you're right.
I think you're more likely to get probably your response, yeah, but
I'll be more than happy to take this to the corner. And I can take it to the Rotary too.
We'll tally one.
Yeah, think of what groups could you help distribute this to? What other venues are we maybe not thinking of from city halls and that you folks can generate a new outreach idea that we haven't thought of?
so can you also see, it needs to be done, this is my thought. On the 28th is the Fraser Library, so if you get paper copy, it needs to be done, so you can pass it out. And someone can say, I passed this out, I need to have it done by the end of your meeting, so you can pick them up immediately, so they don't have any time to say, oh, okay, and then they forget about it. So it needs to be done that type of a option. I'm calling them options, I mean, the method, techniques, so that they have that option. I should put it that way. So. Get that to us in a paper copy.
Oh, yeah. That's the plan.
Okay,
So when? Tomorrow? Friday? Monday?
Let's,
What are you
I
doing?
can maybe target Friday. I just want to give you a little wiggle room in case something else comes up tomorrow.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Friday's fine. Monday's fine. If you want to do it, you want to make sure it's right. You come in on Sunday and do it.
Yeah.
2027.
so can you have that ready by farmer's market?
I'd like to see that happen.
Okay, there you go, Friday.
That, and in fact, that actually ties into, the next agenda item too. So that's another thing you could be doing at farmer's market. Whether you want to pass on a paper version or have one of those charts up again. This may be easy and quick though.
I think a paper version is gonna be easier and quicker, and if some people want to just, in my line, some people just want to say, well, are we going to have, well, 3, then that's good enough, they don't have to rank all 14 if they don't have time, but if people get a better response, they're doing it with the paper version, and just get response.
Let me poll everybody on that. Do you think it makes sense to have everybody rank all 14 or give us your top 3 or give us your top 5?
I think we ought to
What
go
makes
top,
sense?
I think we ought to go top 5.
I think we should go top 5, I don't think anybody, at least my experience at the farmer's market, I don't think they're gonna hang around to try and think out the top 14, or.
Does that mean new and enhanced are on the same list?
Yep.
Cause then I think we're gonna end up, I don't know, I think we need 2 separate things of the, if it's rank of the new ones and rank of the things that exist. I don't know, I just feel like everyone just says pool or dog park or whatever the thing is, and we're not, the bigger projects aren't gonna get done in that same way necessarily. I don't know,
Mark, can you provide some background on new versus enhanced? Is there a reason to have them together? Is there a reason to split them up?
There's no right or wrong answer. I think to Summer's point, the things that are currently labeled enhanced are smaller projects within a current development, park, open space, whatever. And so you get more bang for your buck with those. And I think that's what you're saying, is if we separate the list, you get a true sense of what people are prioritizing in each category versus I want the big ticket item because it's the glittery thing. I'm gonna put that at the top and everything else is gonna slide down.
And I don't think it makes it a longer survey. It's the same amount of things. It just has a left and a right or a top and a bottom. These, to me, I don't see it taking longer or anything. I just think it gives us a little more specific information. Because we probably can't do if the top 5 things come back as things that we can't do until 2025 or later. Just automatically we came and look at them. I don't know what we get, and we have so many other opportunities to get the bigger things in front of people.
So just as a example, right, the pool is gonna be a $15 million project. The circuit course at Orchard Park is gonna be 15 grand.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
I mean, so how do you compare those two? That's the point that you're
I
driving.
think a splash pad's gonna be very expensive at.
Sure,
you know,
yeah, there are some of these that are
Oh,
big
yeah.
ticket items.
Yeah,
Is the Fallen Heroes course, is that already at Orchard Park, or are they wanting to expand it?
So they're wanting to put one that is similar to the ones that we have. in
There's not
other
one
places. I don't
Yeah.
believe so.
So is that a new? Or it's enhancing the overall, okay,
Yeah, so this was the nomenclature that's in the plan.
Sure,
Yeah, so we're just gonna have to figure out how to separate these. I would rather just leave the type off and separate them maybe by scope, if you wanna look at it that way. Size, breadth, whatever.
Yeah, I was a little thrown by this term enhance. I didn't know, are we talking about enhancing the item or enhancing the site?
So that, yeah, so in this case, for example, the Fallen Heroes Circuit course, what they're doing there is proposing to enhance Orchard Park by adding 1 unit of the Fallen Heroes Circuit course.
Okay.
and the other thing I got, the question I have is the community gardens at Orchard Park. Is that what's already set up next to the green containers there?
So this would be similar to, I think, what's at Rocky Hill and.
That's what they have at Orchard Park then.
So
No,
there,
I don't believe so.
Pardon?
I believe across from Orchard Park, that's the farm,
The farm, but there is gardens in there.
but I don't believe that's community gardens.
It isn't? Oh, look at that.
so those are HOA owned, is I think what you're referring to.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Yeah, these would be
Mhm.
similar to the ones at Rocky Hill and the Arboretum.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why I plan to explain every item.
Yeah, exactly.
So Summer, are you kind of envisioning then to have like a list of large scale projects and then like list your top 3 and then smaller scale projects and then your top 3?
yeah, so to me, it's either long-term, short-term, or, just budget-wise, bigger ticket items, smaller items, so however that kind of can break down so that we're looking at things that are comparable, that's my main issue, is that, we're not looking at, again, we're not looking at the thousands versus the multi-millions, and ranking those. Cause I don't know what we do with that information necessarily, other than plan or long-term thing, which I think if we're directing people towards the budget, whether they want to do it or not, that and some other places are for the bigger things. So again, I think as you look at this and sort of remove this new and enhance, and you can find maybe a clever way to break them down when you have that actual information maybe. And again, it could be long-term, short-term, bigger ticket budget items versus smaller, things that exist already versus things that don't.
And then maybe to add on to what you're saying is like maybe can they include where they live, not address, but like the neighborhood.
Sure.
You know?
What's everybody else's thoughts on Summer's approach?
Like, well, go ahead. Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I think it was smart. I think that might be smart. I can see you, getting a result back where everybody's going for the pool and we're like, well, that didn't really help us. So I think separating it out so you are comparing like kind things to like kind things, and then you can, I think that would
be beneficial.
Well, then we better either, I'm trying to think of, make sure that we title this out correctly. Just so everybody has clear understanding, because you're right, everybody's gonna say pull, 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 and that's not what we want. We want to try and separate out, maybe capital projects versus,
So they're all capital projects.
they're all capital
Yeah.
projects, yeah, they're all, I was thinking. So next is what I said.
So I might suggest that we separate them out by those that are truly construction projects versus those that are, I'm buying something to place in this area.
But we'll figure out a term on that.
Is there also separation between things that technically already exist in some capacity versus things that do not exist at all in some capacity? For example, we have community gardens already, so this is just, again, expanding that sort of, what we have already. Same with the, again, even splash pad and the circuit course, all of these things are sort of, I mean, I don't necessarily hate enhance, but I mean, it is something about that. This exists and this would just be adding to that, giving someone else in a different part of the community the same opportunities as people on the other side. I don't know.
And probably by way of explanation, something like that, we would say splash pads exist here and here. They do not exist here.
Right, yeah.
My concern is like baseball fields. When it was brought up at the city council meeting, Jen brought up the fact that there's no place for them, unfortunately. Because there's no land available that the city owns.
Right, and that's gonna be,
See, I'm not sure if we should have that on there, because it could, people look at that and go, oh, wow, the city's gonna look at building baseball fields for us.
well, and I would say as a counterpoint, I would say that this gives us an opportunity, because you're gonna have the same conversation with pool, dog park,
Yeah, you're probably right.
community center.
Yeah.
And so if we know what the community prioritizes, what they value at the highest, and if we only end up having space for, say, one or two of those, then that helps council make a decision.
Sure.
So maybe an idea for those future, like baseball field, community center, senior center, maybe we title that a wish list. Like,
No, it's not, because these are things that's been discussed already. That, they're looking at the possibility of, taking them forward.
okay,
Yeah, I think and I don't remember if we talked about this in the city academy, so this is another reason why you should all enroll in city academy.
I guess we can sign me up.
Registration open through October 19th.
I have a personal preference, personal prejudice against wish list for a very specific reason that I won't bore you with, but these are unfunded projects. If we get people thinking of it as a wish list, they're gonna throw everything
Absolutely.
in there and it quickly gets muddled. These are actual projects. These have scopes. They're just not funded. And so that's what you want to let people know is the decision point is what of these should council fund? These are real things.
And then maybe that's in the title too, and I know it's sort of on this, but maybe that's made real clear on the survey too, the paper one where we're talking to people of the current unfunded projects on our, existing list or whatever, can we prioritize those? And I mean, obviously I see it in our title here, but I think that if it's made a little more clear, like you're.
Yeah. Make that right up on their thesis statement or whatever you want to call it, that these are currently unfunded projects, so people don't, because I can see people saying, yeah, cool, or something like that, but they're currently unfunded so that they know this is future. Really future, probably.
But we're not asking people to conceptualize a wish. We're asking them to help us prioritize what projects that are real things to fund.
Okay,
And I think that word prioritizes, and again, I know that that's what we're surveying, but if we really focus on that word, about prioritizing. Because I think the other thing too is we're coming off of these surveys where we have been asking for these wish list things, so I think people's brains are kind of there.
I know, that's what I was. Maybe make that explanation just a little bit more exact.
I was thinking it may not have been as confusing if, like, for example, when the word over here says enhance, that the park, the name of the park was like next to it. So it's like, because the location is over here, maybe in some people's minds, it's hard to put them together, but I get what you're saying is that you're enhancing this park is already over here. So if they were maybe closer together for the eye, or even in the same box.
Orchard Park Community Gardens.
You know, instead of having type, you just, if you're gonna do away with that, just say, this is what the project, description of the project. Of the unfunded project is, this is enhancing Orchard Park, this is. Going back to type, it's new.
Yeah, I think to Cynthia's point, we could easily get rid of all of these columns and just have the description being something like, one Fallen Heroes Circuit course at Orchard Park. Right, and you would just then go down the list, so you're eliminating the columns and you're just telling people what the description is with all of the information in the description.
Thank you.
But it does need to be on one page, so if you do separate and say new or not new and enhanced, but one, two, so that they understand, so that they can get it done, like a minute or less, and then give it to us.
I can see likely, half a page.
Yeah, this is not
Right.
cool.
Fun colors and fun font.
A Waldo hidden somewhere on there.
I know.
In fact, you know what? We have little bitty dots, and if they want to do it that way, they can even pick out those little dots and put it on there. They like dots. I like dots.
know you do like dots.
I know. Give me a case of them, man. I can do anything. We can make it fun so that we get better and more responsive, if that's what we're trying for.
What if you did have like a find the Waldo, right?
No.
Something like that, and then when we get it back, you could be entered in for like a shout out or a call out on the podcast. Have your name like read.
David's like, I gotta get this done by Friday.
Okay, I'm gonna speak to your dot loving right now. How would you feel about some sort of jar or bucket where you have a little ball or a marble?
Yeah.
Or a candy that fills up the thing for the desired vote.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I mean, it's the same concept. Something that's fun, that attracts people and kids, because that's what city council said, that we need to reach out to more demographics.
Can we reward them with like a chocolate?
No,
No, don't wanna get into that. No.
someday you'll learn.
You can only give out water, but we can't give out chocolate.
I do know where there could be some extra cookies, though.
I already had two.
Okay, did we give you enough information?
I think we'll give you that's what we wanted, was some more ideas and more ways to distribute this and just how to put it together. It's gonna be a better product now than it was gonna be an hour ago.
Good topic.
Hey,
Kind of ties into your next one, though.
Sort of does. Farmers market, and so what I found is usually about the last 4 weeks, I think we have 4 more weeks left. Is that correct, Mark? 4 more?
yeah,
I think, yeah. So it just seems like the first participation position at the farm. It sort
It
of,
goes downhill.
it precipitously
It goes downhill.
drops. And so I'd like to, I know usually we sign up from 9 to 11 for a first shift, 11 to 1. And I think we just need one shift. And you leave about 11 or 11:30, if that's reasonable with everybody, so that, because it's just a precipitous drop right now. I think people go back to school, and we don't have too many activities happening, and so we have 4 more weeks, go on and sign up Genius, and let's just look at one person for the next 4 weeks.
How many total people are there on any day?
You mean as far as participants who drop by?
Yeah. How many people are helping the staff the booth?
Two.
Two.
Full total.
Mhm. The mayor comes and usually the
Maybe one of
CDC.
us, yeah.
Mhm.
They don't have the library's people anymore.
They use, no, they, library people are there during the advertising the soiree.
Okay.
In the book sale.
And the book sale, and then, if there's nothing going on, then no. It's mainly on a normal basis, it's usually just city council, mayor and one of us.
Does that sound reasonable to everybody at this moment for the last 4 weeks? Yeah. Okay. I think the sign up Genius is still out there, right, David? Maybe if you could send us or shoot us another link, that would be great.
Does anybody know if you are signed up
I
the next
am,
4 weeks?
I am for the 23rd, but it was still for the 11 to 1 shift. Still do it for this last week.
Okay. I'll sign up for one of those. I don't know.
Super excited to be there with the survey.
Yeah, we sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
People who come that day will be getting chocolate.
Put me down for let's see, the last day, last farmer's market is the 14th of October, I believe.
Okay,
About the only one I can make, so put me down for that.
okay, Mark gets the October 14th.
I might just,
Okay, I can do that. I can do September 30th. Bill's not here, but we can open it up. So we just need October 7th.
We have a volunteer for October 7th. Come on, going on. That's why, come on, someone step up.
Let's put Bill's name.
Yeah, I was about to say we could send it out to the other 2 people. See what happens.
Yeah, I can't make it on October 7th. The reason why I can't do it, because we have juniors off that day.
Okay, well, let's keep Bill in mind. He's been a good person and a good backup. He did the one when Kramer Parkway grand opening and went out there and did it, so let's keep him in mind. On this summer.
it started to really hurt me right now.
Okay, okay, that's what I've got it, that means.
I'll show the hang out when I get
so fast.
Everybody's got soccer Saturday. now, so-
Okay, so let's, Bill and I are gonna, he wants to know what happened tonight. He's gonna meet up with me probably later this week, and I'll ask if he can do October 7th.
There you go. Keep easy.
We're covered, perfect.
So,
Okay,
do I need a resend, sign up Genius? to everybody?
no, let's not. We got it.
You got enough on your plate.
Yeah, you gotta worry about getting these surveys out, yeah.
You gotta make a fine wall of it.
Down,
That's it. E, geographic areas of CPC positions, Mark.
Color coded enhancement, please note.
Yeah, I see this. But I think we're missing out, you know, we've had two people that showed interest joining our group. And we turned them down because they don't live in the right area.
Well, isn't Aaron in the wrong area?
I was gonna say, isn't,
Aaron lives.
he's
by
in
me.
an 8, isn't he?
Yeah, Aaron's over here, no, Aaron's over here in 8 with Jennifer. Yeah,
He's a 3 and 8.
yeah, Aaron's supposed to be a 3 and 8.
Have we had any interested people?
Okay, we've had interest people from, Tritina.
Okay, so that would be a 1 and a 6, right?
Well, I'm not sure if it is or not. I was told no.
Hmm.
I was told
Email
that,
representing.
I was told, well, David, you told me that we could, that we were already filled.
Rutina is a 1 and a 6, and if Aaron's,
I'm just telling you what I was told, Jennifer.
no. So-
Who is position, I don't have the numbers and names with me. Who is position 1, who's position 6?
I don't really know.
I don't know. Oh, wait, it's on here. It is.
Look at that. Is that
Right here it is, it's right here. Position 1 is Robin.
Oh.
Position 6 is Aaron. It says Aaron right here.
Okay.
I don't know. Position 3 is Jennifer. The only 2 positions that are open is 7 and 8.
Do we have positions incorrectly allocated?
I think so.
There's no way.
I think so. Aaron should be position 8. Because he lives over in Rocky Hills. And if that's true, then we can fill that one position in, who's interested, is Arlene,
Well, is it Cynthia though?
she's at large.
Oh, okay. Got it, sorry.
Which we have her as 5. That, right? She's 5, right?
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
yep,
Do we have too many people in one position?
no,
No,
I think you should, you know, that one person I emailed you, I think we ought to pursue that. Arlene or Eileen, or whatever her name is.
So what do we need to correct here?
You need to move Aaron over here to number 8. Go ahead, take it, Aaron. Go ahead, take it. You take that off,
So I
yeah.
need to check to see
And then
who's, okay, Robin, you are 1.
Robin's 1, yes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll look into this.
Okay.
Everybody else is correct?
thank God for this map.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. So the map was screwed up at the beginning.
But that doesn't change your point you wanted to bring up though.
Well, the point is that I think if we get to we're trying to fill 9 positions, we've got 7 of them filled right now. Soon to be 8, and I think as for the 9th position, if there's someone that steps up and says, I want to be on the CPC, I think we ought to just, doesn't matter where they live, I think we ought to just let them come. Because city council doesn't have, they got positions, but that doesn't mean anything of where they live or anything. As a matter of fact, yeah. So. Just a thought.
No, I don't hate it.
Positive.
I don't want to hear what we have, I mean, if we do this correctly,
We just gotta, if we do it like it is right now, we just gotta find another person in legacy.
right, I think there is something to be said about having someone kind of represent, again, as a further down the road thing, I think if this commission gets known a little bit more, I'm not saying I want to be a block captain or anything, but I do think I don't, but I think it might be nice to, it might be nice to have a point person in your district, you know, because we don't have that, specifically because we don't have it for city council. And I think that if we did have it for city council, I would be 100% with you. But since we don't, I think maybe that's a good thing. Maybe there's something that we could do if we're site specific.
So I think that I think we have to be flexible, but I think it's good to have, you're right, city council doesn't have it, but I still like how we have, because that broad,
Okay,
Representation.
the issue was, the only issue that I had at the beginning is that we had someone who was very interested in coming aboard, and we weren't able to accommodate her because of where she lived. Well, guess what? The map was all messed up, and now it's fixed. And now
We'll take that up because
the opportunity is there now that we can go back and address it and see if she's still interested.
But take that specific example out, your original concern is still
Oh, yeah,
a discussion point.
but the thing is that it sounds like the main focus here is that people want to keep it the same, so I'm not gonna argue with them.
And I have a suggestion myself, but I'm first wanting to know what you all think.
The only thought that I started to have when I look at this map is I think it's separated out. It looks nicely separated out, but I don't know if the number, like the amount of people who live in each spot matches how nicely it looks. If that makes sense. I'm trying to.
I don't think you can go that far because there's more density.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, with whoever lives over in the River District where Robin lives, right now it's less, but a year from now, she's gonna outdo almost everybody because of the growth over there.
Right, whereas like positions 3 and 8, when you're looking
We're
at
pretty
that,
small.
pretty small.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe in time, you might wanna have 3 in the yellow and 2 in the red, or. I don't know.
that's called redistricting.
Oh, it's gonna be scary.
Redistrict.
Mark Vander. I'm on Myersburg in the river district.
I smell a review question coming. Gerrymandering up.
Okay,
but right now, let's just leave it the way it is, because the
Okay.
main issue, and if there is a person that comes that shows interest to be the ninth, we can I think we as a commission should discuss it, and you and Sunny do the interview, and then we make a decision from there. If they don't live in, like, up on the hill, Smart Hill, as I call it.
okay, that sounds, I think that sounds reasonable.
Let me just, I'm not saying I'm advocating this at all. We'll look at it.
Go for it.
Just throwing another idea out there. We've not had 2 positions filled for a year plus. I know we've had at least 2 inquiries, could have been 3. But, you know, certain positions were filled. What if, I don't know if this will work structural wise with how commissions operate here. What if there was some kind of language where if a position in a geographic area remains unfilled for X number of months, the mayor would have discretion to appoint a second at-large person. Don't fill out, you know, the 9 total, something like that.
It's kind of what we discussed already,
Yeah.
in our large, yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about.
And any changes you would want to request to this, I would recommend whether it's tonight or continued topic of discussion for next month or the month after, whatever.
I would like to have a continued discussion, but
Yeah.
I'd like to have Aaron
Yeah.
and Bill's, their input on it.
And then at some point, if there is a desired change, to make a motion on it and make that recommendation to city council and move forward that way. Because the city council would have to change the ordinance.
Well, right now, though, they
We
don't.
ain't changing anything
We're
right
not-
now.
we're not
so-
changing.
I'm saying if it came to that point.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we have to make, yeah, we have to make
Yeah.
dates.
But I would like to still have the 2 commission members that are
Have
out
their
tonight. I would like to have their input.
Absolutely.
After they've been moved to the right district.
Yeah. after-
Yeah,
After
we
we
just
get
gotta
the
let,
redistrict.
I'll see Aaron on Sunday, and
Okay,
I'll tell it gently to him, so it doesn't hurt his feelings.
yeah, just tell me he's being redistricted,
Yeah.
and now you're being.
Yeah, you're no longer with Robin, you're with Jennifer.
So there's no representation from around the lake because they are spoke and. Is
Yes,
that why?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, So I think we,
And potentially that could be a topic for discussion. Do you want to add a non-city member to this?
No,
I'm just saying,
no,
because I think the library operates that way. Can the board pursue?
It's gonna get spicy real soon, David.
no.
I'm just throwing out, I'm not saying I'm advocating anything.
Nor am I, I'm just saying it's gonna get spicy.
again, that's another topic for later, when the commission members are here today. I don't think we should decide that tonight.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Okay,
I don't think we need to make a motion. We
No.
just, there was a mistake on the map. There's a, for position 1 and 6, position 6 is still open.
And this is incorrect too, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Correct.
and
Correct.
Correct,
yeah,
correct it.
so
So
that's.
the open positions will be 6 and 8.
We will look into this
Six and
tomorrow.
7.
Mhm. Other upcoming opportunities. Anything on that? I think we sort of discussed quite a few
Yeah,
today,
we did.
so I think those are well covered. If we missed anything, then. So on the next meeting, anything requested items for agenda, again, we did a
Yeah,
Jen, yeah, and that would be probably a fairly good topic, framework and process for the CDC support.
okay, I think we ought to review this at our next meeting.
Okay, so, yeah. Review the list of unfunded projects. That could be used.
Because we should have a pretty good, well, it should be done by then, shouldn't it?
And at the next meeting,
When
yeah,
do we need to have the unfunded projects polling done?
I think that's an open question, depending on how many responses we get. We obviously don't want it to go too deep into the budget calendar because we want it to be useful this year as they set the CFP. But I would think at the latest, you would go 2 weeks after the budget is disseminated to council. So whatever 2 weeks after the 17th is, would be my
Oh, okay.
max,
So it'll be Halloween.
somewhere around there. You don't necessarily need to do that, but that would be the max.
so I have another thing on the agenda, we're going to be able to discuss or review, we're gonna do a fall winter calendar.
There isn't really that much going on.
Okay.
Winnerboro's the only thing, we've got our own posters put
Perfect.
up, so I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. Next meeting is October the 18th, 2023 at 6:00 p.m. Is there anything else? For the good of the order? Okay, if not, I'm adjourning the meeting adjourned.